Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm hopefully going to put an end to a problem that we've been having with this 2012 Polaris Ranger 800 that we've been battling for almost a year now. The machine runs perfectly fine, but if we let it run for a while and then kill the engine, it will not restart unless we let it sit for about 15 minutes or so. So what we've been doing is just letting it idle. But that's really not a good solution. So let me take this seat off and I'll show you what I think might be going on. Okay, so let me show you what I believe is going on here. Right here, we have our fuel tank, and inside of the fuel tank, we have the fuel pump. Well, Polaris on the 2011 and 2012 models, they ran the fuel line directly into the fuel injection rail, straight to the engine, straight shot right here, which makes sense. It's less fuel line to use. It doesn't cost them a whole lot of money. This high pressure fuel hose is expensive, but the issue is it's sitting directly over the exhaust. And so what I believe is happening is when this sits after running for a while, this remaining fuel in this hose gets so hot that it's basically boiling and creating a vapor lock condition. Now, normally this wouldn't be an issue because the fuel pump is healthy enough to push through that vapor lock and start the engine. But over time, remember this is a 2012, this fuel pump gets weaker and weaker and the fuel pressure drops and it is no longer strong enough to push through that vapor lock. And that's why we have an issue that we have today. Now, to help with this, I've put this insulating sleeve over the fuel line with some stainless steel hose clamps, and that has seemed to help. It's better now, but it still is an issue, I would say 3 out of 5 times. So we're gonna take this fuel pump and we're gonna test the pressure on it. The 2011 and 2012 models should be around 40 PSI. So if we're below that, then I believe we do have a bad fuel pump and we're gonna get it swapped out today. So stay tuned. All right, so this hose right here is just a vent for the gas tank. This is the electrical connector for the fuel pump and the fuel level sending unit. And then this is the main line right here that we need to disconnect. So you can see it's attached with this clip right here. So what we're gonna have to do is pinch these white clips right here and push it out just like that. And then this fuel hose should come right off. And we may get a little bit of gas that comes out, but that's all right. All right, there we go. So now we've got the main fuel line disconnected from the tank. We can now test our pressure directly off of this nipple right here. Just trying to clean up this fuel that spilled out a little bit. So to test the fuel pressure, I bought this off Amazon. It's a BETOOL Pro fuel injection pressure tester kit up to 140 PSIs, which should be plenty. So the way I'm gonna hook this up is I'm gonna use this fitting right here with a small piece of hose, and I have 2 of the hose clamps that were included with the kit on here. So let me get this assembled and we'll get it hooked up and test the fuel pressure. All right. So now this end is ready to go on top of the fuel pump assembly, and then we'll just tighten the hose clamp down. Okay, so this is what it looks like hooked up. It's just a straight piece of hose with 2 hose clamps into that fitting, and then we have it going directly into the gauge. Now this has a release right here that will kind of purge the line of air so that we can get an accurate reading. All right, you can see I've got the gauge hanging right here, and I've got the bleeder hose down into a cup to drain into. So let's go ahead and get the fuel pump running. Okay, so that's reading about 8 PSI. Let's try it a couple more times. All right, so it's building a little bit of pressure. We're almost at 20. Okay, we're at 26. Okay, just went up a little bit. Almost at 28. Let me purge this line of any air. Remember, the 2011 and 2012 models should be right at 40 PSI. Now in the newer models, I think Polaris recognized this was an issue, and the newer fuel pumps will actually run around 58 PSI. All right, so I think that's about all that we're gonna get. You can see I've cycled the fuel pump several times and I cannot get above 30 PSI. So I believe we do have a bad fuel pump. All right guys, yeah, just to make sure, I cycled it a few more times off camera and I cannot get the pressure to get above 30. So let's get this fitting taken off, disconnect the electrical, and let's see if we can get this fuel pump out of here. Should just lift up on this tab, and this electrical connector should slide out. There we go. Let's get that over to the side. All right, so now this should just unscrew and it should pull right out. Oh, that's on there pretty good. Man, that is tight. Golly. Okay, this is the pump I just got in from Amazon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. You can see there's the collar. Here's the assembly. All right, so everything to me looks to be a match. We've got 4 prongs on the top, 4 prongs on the top. So I believe we're gonna be good to go. All right, so let's feed this gasket up to the top, and let's go back inside and get this installed. All right, moment of truth. Let's see what we've got. Remember, I couldn't get above 30 before. All right, right at 20. Let's let it cycle a few times. Okay, now it's climbing. 36. And look at this, it's showing 3 bars of fuel. So the sending unit seems to be working as well. It knows the level of fuel. So this is a good sign. We should be around 40 PSI. You can see it's still climbing just a little bit. Let me purge the air out. And let's try it a couple more times. We're at 34, about 36. About 36 and a half, 37-ish. It's much better than what we were getting before. So I think this is gonna do the job. I'm gonna run this for a little bit and I will update you if it does not work, but I am 90% sure that this is gonna fix my issue. So I hope this was helpful to you. If you've got an older Polaris Ranger, models 2011 or 2012, please like and subscribe for future videos, and I will see you guys soon.